Hey, welcome back. Big slowdown here lately. As I explained in the last video, we just have a ton of stuff going on. I'm gonna try to do an amalgamation video where we cover the carburetor swap, what's going on with the Chevy, where I'm at currently with the Civic. I'll try to splice in some stuff. I think I've got the carburetor swap bucked down to like a time lapse. So we'll put that in here with some tunes, and you can kind of see me struggle against that. But honestly, what happened was Christmas happened, and we had some stuff happening with the family, and kind of derailed, the mode I was in with the weather and the holidays and the family stuff. It just kind of derailed me. I was able to make some progress, which I'll share right now. The write-up for the Civic, I ended up taking it down to Main Street Automotive, and I'll put a picture in here. I was able to drive it down there, and what they said about that's actually for something else. And by the way, we've had stuff going on. I'll just tell you, we had come to the place with the Civic that I had basically replaced and or cleaned and or recommissioned everything on the cylinder head, and just a super rough idle. The car wants to run, and in my mind, when I was driving it, when I'd get it above, say, like 1300 RPM, I was probably, getting 3/4 of the compression. And I'm kind of losing track of what I'm trying to say here. So I got to the place where I bought a new cylinder head, all new valves, triple angle cut, new warranted cylinder head with all new guts. But then I got down these different pathways where I thought, shit, man, could this be something with the coolant circuit, how it relates to the idle air control? Did I need to do a whole new idle relearn? Like, I kind of spun out more or less with the Civic, because a couple of things happened. I shifted to the Chevy. I had the Civic kind of laying in wait. We did a bunch of stuff on the Chevy. We lowered it. We got it kind of up and running for the most part. We put new wheels on it, got that kind of we figured out a bunch of stuff with that. And so then now I'm back on the Civic, kind of racing the clock. Like I said in the last video, the machine shop that sent the head out, they want a core back in a timely fashion, and I don't have the bandwidth to get it back to them. So I'm going to end up paying more for that head than I really wanted to, just due to all this timing constraints. Not a huge issue. It's not the end of the world. On top of that, we've had a couple of things happen, like within the family on both sides, that have kind of derailed us a little bit, and we've got stuff going on. Yeah, so we wanted to do a voiceover here. Here I'm doing the swap on the carburetor, just showing some issues with it. It had a secondary metering block. There's a new brawler. Kind of moving around, had to disconnect the battery there, get some hoses disconnected and stuff. Breaking across the fuel lines and kind of discovering, all the peripheral crap that I got to get loose. Kind of getting a towel in there to soak up any loose gas. And just looking to see where those vacuum lines need to be, where they could be, all that. Looks like, yeah, still breaking off some vacuum lines. Coming in here to get rid of these studs, and we'll see how long that took me. Not too long. I'd replaced these studs a couple of like a year or so back. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting them all cracked loose. This was like a 55-minute video where I'm talking smack the whole time, but what we wanted to do here was just kind of get something out. I ended up coming in here and just getting this off. In any case, looks like it's about to free itself off of the intake manifold. I always forget I have that 1-inch spacer there, and yeah, it looks like I'm kind of just taking my time to get this hardware off. And washers, getting those off, and then I think we're free. So the next couple shots here, I think I finally get her lifted off. Maybe I'm disconnecting the throttle link a little bit. Yep. Talking smack about the hardware I use, and there goes the old 4160. It's a 650 CFM carburetor. I'm dumping it out and kind of emptying the bowls out and stuff. Yeah, just hazmat, whatever. Put it on the shelf and pulling the gasket, putting new gaskets on, doing whatever, kind of cleaning up the flange there, the mating surface before I do so, and you know, cleaning up more or less the throttle bodies, for lack of a better word. Here I'm talking about the Brawler. We upgraded to a 680 CFM, and I was pretty excited about this part. I thought it would be more like cinematic or whatever to kind of slow it down and show you the way this thing goes on there. It's just 4 studs that mount into that intake, and it got like a high-rise spacer there to kind of lift it up. And so anyways, yeah, it's there, set down, and yeah, for the rest of this video, I'll just let some music play and let you enjoy it. But for the rest of it, man, I just struggled because I kept having the same issue. And the issue that I'm having is that I've got like some kind of blockage in my return line on my fuel. And really what's happening is I've somehow picked up some crap gas from the bottom of one of my tanks. I've got one of the 2 tanks is bad, and it's come up, and it keeps blocking my floats, and then I get, you know, vent tube gas, and it's just kind of a mess. I'm not able to run. So this carburetor was unnecessary, and I didn't need to replace the 4160. In a sense, that's a good carburetor sitting on the shelf there. I'll probably sell it. Long story short, same issues. So what I did is I took a couple weeks off from this, because at the beginning I told you I had a lot of stuff going on. But one of the things I did was I ordered 2 new tanks. So here this spring we'll get into all of that as well, and hopefully be able to kind of solve the running and driving issues. I'm going to push forward on the interior portion of the project, you know, over the winter if I have some time, you know, here and there. I want to do the seat and get the seat out of there, and yeah, sound dead in the cab, and you know, clean up some stuff here and there, do some put the stereo in, and then finally put the carpet kit in, put the seat back in, get the dash all rebuilt with the new stuff there. And yeah, it's just kind of a never-ending list of projects on this Chevy. I don't know if I'll ever be done. There's always something for me to be thinking about. Here I'm hooking up the throttle linkage up again. I'm going to have to find the right hardware. This is the kind of hardware that was on it when I adopted this thing back in 2008. But yeah, so we're still having fuel delivery issues. Basically, I've got on this new carburetor, I've got plug jets, and then now I've got a tank that's bad. So I tried some other things before I kind of went all in on the tanks, which was just to kind of like reset my floats, switch tanks, put some fresh gas in the tank, so on and so forth. Now I was looking at parts that I had available. Here I'm hooking stuff back up, and I'm about to see where we're at. So, and at this point, what could go bad? The whole reason I have this carburetor on here is because the old one was flooding and doing stupid stuff. I'm looking at it over there. It doesn't look like I've ever touched it. It's so grimy and stuff. It's going to take a little bit for this thing to turn over. What could happen is that I did have a vacuum issue somewhere, and I didn't need the carburetor, and the vacuum issue is going to make this carburetor belch gas again and not run. We have to tune it and such, but this thing's all been kind of dialed in where it should be, so we're going to give it a shot. Wish me luck. So I'm going to kind of use the camera as witness here to any leaks or anything. I tried to dry it up in there. This is a moment of truth. We're going to start it up here. This stuff's really not in good shape, but we'll see how bad this goes. fuel leak. So from this point, I just kind of started tightening stuff down. The fuel supply rail that hooks from my fuel line to the carburetor bowls had some loose fittings here and there. It's a cheaper eBay, like $40 boy. I've since come to the conclusion that I'm going to get something different on there that's got a fuel pressure gauge, so I can also see what's happening. Yeah, you can see the fuel coming out here while I'm trying to start it. And just going through these little, gremlins to kind of get it tightened up and leak free so that I could start tuning on it. And during that, I ended up sucking up some bad gas. And, like I said earlier in the video, we're kind of back to square one. So I've since bitten the bullet, ordered 2 new 16-gallon tanks. We'll do the swap this summer. I'm going to reset my floats this winter, push forward on getting the interior done. And maybe take some time, since I've got the equipment now, to clean up the engine bay around the block and stuff so it is more presentable. It hasn't been touched in a long time. Here's me just kind of getting after stuff. There was a bunch of dumb shit going on with this fuel line. I had all kinds of fittings that were loose and spraying gas, as you saw. So in any case, just a few more minutes left of this video. I think we're going to watch me fumble around with these fuel lines and try to get them routed correctly. And then I'll go home this afternoon and kind of do a walk around. We did have a bunch of awesome stuff happen. One of the things I said I'd do was go through the old skill box. So yeah, we put together a workshop. And in my workshop, I've got a new air compressor, I've got a new air reel and some air tools, I got a paint gun, I got some air tools, I got a cutoff wheel, I got my anvil, I got my blast cabinet and some media, I've got my welding cart, I got my welder, I've got some rags, I've got some duster cleaner, I've got some sound deadener, I've got a powder coating system, I've got a powder coating oven, I've got a drill press, and I've got a desk, I've got my welding helmet, my cutoff, my flags, my old hard hats, and some funny stuff hanging here and there. So this is what I'm calling the skill box. And we'll go through this in more detail on an episode coming in the future. Yeah, like I said, we're going to get back into it. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I tried to outline some of that and amalgamate it, bullet point list out all the different things that are going on. Went into some gray area there, some stuff going on in our personal lives too that the keyword or the buzzword of the day is going to be derailed us a little. We're getting back on track slowly. We've got headway to be made on the Civic, headway to be made on the Chevy, for crap's sake. In the coming episodes, of course, like I said, we're going to go over the skill box, okay, the new mini fab shop. We're also going to go over what the hell's next on the Chevy. We're definitely doing the interior coming up. We've been talking about that for months now. Until next time, this is Human Refurbished. Are we going to rename this channel? I feel like we still are in this growing phase where we don't know who the hell. So yeah, we got some neighbor goats out here. You guys eating on some trees? What are you doing? We're not going to pester you. How you doing? How are you guys doing? You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. I'm not doing nothing. Come on back up here. It's okay. Bat. Yeah, bat. It's okay. Oh, is this what? Alright then.